that delta S universe is greater than equal to 0. You will not make any mistake. Okay, because this derivation came from here. We started from this point, then we said delta S system plus delta S surrounding or environment greater than equal to 0. If we assume that surrounding is a thermal reservoir, of course, work reservoir, there is no delta S. Remember, you can go through the notes. For work reservoir, it's only transfer work. So there is no entropy associated with it, because work means there is no wastage. So for thermal, if you assume, and generally that's what we assume, it's hidden that surrounding is a thermal reservoir, then you can always write delta S surrounding as numerical value Q by heat reservoir temperature, and since it's a numerical value, you have to put 1 minus sign. If you follow this, there will not be any confusion. So just be careful whether this is valid or not, whether you can take this as T system or not. If both are not equal, if the system temperature and surrounding temperature are different, use this one. This should be the starting point. There will not be any scope of mistake. So this is for closed system. Okay. And then for open system, I have uploaded the derivation. Okay. So if you see the open system formula is this. Let me write it for you, and then we will move. So open system formula for steady state open system, we have this S generation is equal to m dot out S out minus m dot I Si, and then I guess it should be, just check it, it's minus Q by T or plus Q. I guess minus Q by T. Let me check also, because I don't want to derive. Detailed derivation is there.
Yes, sir, minus.
Minus, no? Okay. So minus Q2 system, remember always, with a numerical value, Q system by T. Now this T is always confusing. I'll say Tk. You can see in the notes Tk, as I said, if the temperature of system and surrounding is different, in a strict sense, it should be the temperature of interface of system and surrounding. Okay. So if that is not the case, again, always start from if this temperature is not known. In other words, if system boundary and surrounding boundary temperature are not almost equal, then always start from delta S universe greater than 0. There is no scope of confusion then. Okay. And if you have multiple inputs and plus plus S generation, of course. If you have multiple input outputs, you can see the derivation. I have uploaded it in classroom, this and then this. Okay. So with this, still we will not solve the problem. We will concept one more cover, and then today we will solve at least 4 or 5 problems. Okay. And then we will go to the almost end of this whole my module for this session. And then once Professor Gargidas will finish, we will again meet for 2-3 classes for thermodynamics for reactions. Of course, reactions at equilibrium. Okay. So equilibrium thermodynamics for reactions, that I will cover at the last. Okay. So today the concept which we are going to learn is called availability. Okay. So listen carefully. And why we need to define it. Okay. We have seen that there is entropy generation, which is inherent nature of our various real systems. And this S dot generation is nothing but this you can say that degradation of available energy. Now there is something else which is called availability. So we'll see what it is. Okay. So for that, what you do, that let's say that you have a system. You have a system. Okay. Fine. Now if I'll ask, and let's say this system pressure is P, volume V, temperature T. Okay. And this system is interacting with surrounding. So let's say we have environment or surrounding. which has temperature P naught and T naught. Okay, fine. Now, if I'll ask you that how much maximum work can be extracted from the system, what will your answer? So eventually, which pressure and temperature system can take? Anyone?
A system can take P naught, T naught.
P naught, surrounding pressure and temperature. Very good. That is the maximum work which you can extract. So we will say it W max. So as I think Onik or whoever has pointed out, it can go to surrounding pressure and temperature. So it means if we change the P naught and T naught, whatever we are going to learn, that is going to vary. Remember, this is important. Your surrounding conditions, because it will depend on that. Okay. So W max, provided that system is interacting with, this is the maximum work which you can extract from the system. Okay. So W max will be, let's say, if you want to know W max, then it will be, okay, first of all, sorry, so it will go to this P naught, T naught. And what, when I say maximum work, in what way it is possible? Anyone? How we should perform how system should change its state? Which way?
Reversibly.
Reversible.
Sir,
Very good.
I think the volume.
Volume surrounding has no volume, right? So a system will take some volume. You got the point. Let's say that system final volume V naught.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So very good point. I thought I will mark it later, but since you said it, so eventually it can go to, our system can have pressure P naught, temperature T naught, and it will have some volume. Let's say it V naught. V naught is our final volume, corresponding to the conditions P naught and T naught, because surrounding and there is no point of surrounding volume. Okay, right, Anik? Fine. That's what you wanted to point out, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah. So W max, right. So the moment you say reversible, so I can write, so W max, as you said, it's nothing but W reversible. You can put, yeah, W reversible. Okay, fine. So W max, we know what will be, W max will be our dou Q reversible, okay, minus delta U or du. Let's say it dou du. Okay, you agree from first law? So this is from first law. And since we are saying we want to do extract maximum work, the process is reversible. So that's why I have put Q reversible. Take a few seconds pause and think that whether I written. Since I have written maximum, the way I should perform it, it should be reversible. And the moment you say reversible, heat transfer is reversible. Okay. So this is first law. Now let how we correlate this delta Q reversible using second law. What we have from second law, for second law, process is reversible. Remember, we are extracting maximum work from the system. Anyone? Delta Q reversible, TDS. Very good. Okay. So then I can write this delta W max is dou Q reversible. Oh, sorry, replace it with TDS. TDS minus T. Which T?
At the boundary.
Okay, so there is a scope of confusion. So now what we are going to do? See it carefully. Okay. So just to avoid this confusion, what we are going to do is as follows. Remember, whenever there is a confusion of this boundary, okay, always remember we can write delta S universe. And what is delta S universe? Delta S system plus delta S surrounding or environment, whatever you want to say. Okay. Now, if process is reversible, what is, because see, reservoir is always reversible, and I am saying my system is also performing this work reversibly. So what is delta S? Anyone? Everything is reversible.
0.
0. Very good. Everything is reversible. So the moment I had confusion, I am not going to use it directly. I'll go through this path. So delta S inverse is 0. I want to know delta S system, and I certainly know delta S surrounding. Now I can surely write dou Q reversible because heat has been given reversibly to the system. Okay, from surrounding, I don't care whether how system has taken it. So this is T. In fact, don't write it reversible. Just say dq given to system, and we can always write here that dou Q numerical value given by thermal reservoir. So from heat balance, you know that same heat will be taken by system. So numerical value is dou Q. Okay. So rather than saying reversible, irreversible, in order to remove any confusion, we certainly know what is delta S surrounding. Anyone? Dou Q by T. Any sign you'd like to put here?
Minus.
Minus, because delta Q I said numerical value. It means it's given to the system. Okay. So now we know that delta S system is minus T dou Q. Okay. So what I can write is, let me see, there is no confusion. Yeah, fine. So now I can write dou Q is TdS. Okay. If we'll solve it, yeah. So from here, if we come here, you can see that I can write dou Q is T into delta S system. So whenever you have confusion, and this time which T it is, just mention T of thermal reservoir, HR. THR. There is no confusion at all now. Everyone is clear up to this point? So rather than applying second law, this one, you say second law is delta S inverse 0 because process is reversible. Okay. And then delta S inverse is delta S system plus delta S surrounding. I want to know delta S system. That is equal plus minus to delta S surrounding is this. Okay. So now what is our heat reservoir temperature, by the way? THR. Anyone?
T dot.
T naught. Very good. Because our system is interacting with surrounding. So this is T naught. So here also it is T naught. So that's what I do. I don't directly use the formula. I always go through delta S inverse greater than 0. No scope of confusion. Very good. So now I can write delta W max by system is T naught delta S system. So let's say DS system minus D. Perfect. So if you write this W max, if you integrate it, W max will be T naught. So what is our final state, final entropy? Anyone? S naught, right? So S naught minus S, and U is U naught minus U, because my final state is that environmental state. Okay. So let's write W max. W max is equal to okay, T naught S naught minus S minus U naught minus U. Okay. Now you are okay. We are doing for a closed system. Remember, it's a closed system. Right. Since it's a closed system, it means system has work against environment also. So if I'll now ask you, what is W max useful? Then can anyone suggest W max plus or minus? What we should add or subtract? What do you think? Anyone? Subtract. And that is boundary work. Because it's a closed system, it will work against environment. Okay. Against PV work. Because we have only PV work here. If there is another work, you have to include it, but generally we don't deal with so difficult examples. Again, against surrounding. That you have to subtract, because that energy will go against surrounding. So ultimately the work which you can use, W max useful, is this one. So we know W max, what is it is? T naught S naught minus S minus U naught minus U Now, anyone about this boundary work? Yes. P naught, V naught minus V.
P naught into V naught minus V.
V. Very good. Now, anyone can argue here, if you think carefully, that system pressure is changing and environmental pressure is at P naught. Isn't it a non-equilibrium situation? So how we can write this? Anyone has this confusion? If yes, please ask. Otherwise, I'll skip. Or you answer. What do you think? Bhavna?
Sir, can you repeat? Can you repeat
Okay.
just?
Question is like this. Who is it?
Sir, I am Abhilash.
Abhilash. So you see, our system pressure is changing. You agree? Pressure will vary, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And our surrounding temperature is P naught. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So don't you think it's an unequilibrium situation? Right. P is greater than P naught,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
So then how we
Yes.
can write work done for such cases? How we can write P naught minus
So
V?
it's a quasi-static process.
Yeah. So how we can do that?
Yes.
Can you recall an example where we have shown that yes, you can decouple the work in form of these two components? You remember that example? I have given
Yes,
it
sir.
as a
Just an experiment
yeah,
in
that
the.
is spring and atmosphere example,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So don't
Yes.
think that it's a unequilibrium work. It's a quasi-static work. We can decompose it always. So if you don't, if you have any scope, if you are getting confused, either in one of the class illustration example, you have taken a spring system and there was atmosphere also, and this gas was expanding, and we have shown that W gas, whatever you are finding, you can always decouple it, works done against whatever extra you have, plus work done against atmosphere. So that we have seen. So in that context, yes, we can write. Don't think it's a unequilibrium or unquasi-static. It's a quasi-static work. We want to subtract only that component. So basically, you are subtracting this. Okay. So there is no violation of any thing which we have already done. But we are not moving from equilibrium thermodynamics. It's equilibrium thermodynamics. Okay. Great. So now we have defined this W max useful. Okay. And this W max useful is called exergy. EXERGY, exergy. Okay. So if anyone asks you what is exergy, simple. The maximum work, useful work, not maximum, useful work after subtracting the work against environment, that maximum useful work by system, provided that system will eventually achieve the environmental condition, that is called exergy. Okay. If we'll arrange it, you can nicely arrange it this way. You can write it this way. Let me write it for you. U plus P naught V minus T naught S minus. You can check, there is no mistake of sign, I guess. U naught plus P naught V naught minus T naught S naught. Just check. I think all the signs are fine. Yes. Okay. And that's why, see, here everything is in terms of environment. And that's why exergy is dependent on environmental condition. If we change the environmental condition, the maximum useful energy which can extracted from the system will also change. Okay. So that is a difference in entropy and this. We'll see more, more clearly. But here you can see that information is already there. Here environmental conditions are important. Now you see here everything is in terms of total property like U, S. If we'll extract mass from it, or basically if we'll divide it by mass, M, everywhere M, then that is called exergy per unit mass is called variability. And this is called non-flow exergy because it's a closed system. or non-flow availability. Okay, this is nothing but, now since you are dividing it by small m per unit mass, so it will be u small u plus P naught small v minus T naught small s minus u naught plus P naught small v naught minus T naught small s naught. Okay. Remember, everywhere this pressure and temperature is not known. Okay. And you will see that this is generally defined by phi availability and exergy by x. X, make it x, not across. Okay. So the physical insight, it is the maximum heatful work which you can extract from the system, which is dependent on surrounding. If you will vary the surrounding condition, yes, nothing. Okay. So we have defined phi, we have defined x. There is a another smart way to define phi. Okay. That is this. So how we are going to define it this way? If you will see, for us delta S universe in general is what? Greater than equal to 0, isn't it? Okay, I am saying the same thing, but just more rather than. So remember, maximum heatful work means path is reversible. Okay. If you want to define it more mathematically, the previous derivation is more insightful. If you just want to work mechanically, that then also you can do. And this is delta S system plus delta S surrounding. Is it? Okay, so surrounding is greater than equal to 0. Delta S system, I don't know. Delta S surrounding, I certainly know, plus minus q, because q is given to the system. So minus q divided by T surrounding, which is T naught, greater than equal to 0. Okay, so q is always less than equal to T naught delta S system. Okay, right. Now what you write is you write first law. So first law is nothing but delta W. I am not mentioning reversible, irreversible, nothing. Any general process. So more general process is irreversible. That's why this inequality is also there. So in general, delta W, no reversible, nothing. Delta W is dou Q minus, you can put dou Q here, dou Q minus du. Okay. So you can tell me by seeing this expression, anyone, when this will be maximum. Just mathematically. You are changing a state going from 1 to 2. Okay. So du, so you are going from, let's say, 1 to 2, or let's say 1 to initial condition to environmental condition, whatever you want to say. Okay. So du will be something. Okay. So let's write it. Delta W is dou Q. You can integrate it. So total work, let's say, W by system is total Q. Okay. Total Q minus U naught minus U. So everything you know, this is U initial, you can say, let's say U1. So now tell me when W, mathematically, when W will be maximum? When Q will be maximum or minimum?
Maximum.
What is the maximum value of Q for
When
any
it is
process?
possible T naught into
You know,
delta
delta
S.
S, right? So that way also, if you don't want physical insight, just mathematically also W max is, Q has to be maximum, and maximum value of Q is T naught delta. So here you can write that the maximum value of Q max is T naught delta S system. So T naught delta S system minus U naught minus U. Fine. W max. So if you write W max useful, again you have to subtract W max minus T naught V naught minus V, and you will get the same thing. That T naught delta S, T naught delta S system minus u naught minus u minus p naught u naught minus p, which is this is delta system is nothing but s naught minus s. So again you will get the same thing. This is u naught minus u now. U plus p naught v minus p naught s minus u naught plus p naught v naught minus t. So whatever you want, either you want to say it reversible because that will be maximum, or use mathematics, simple. Okay, so this is nothing but exergy x, so phi is nothing but x by n, and we have already seen all quantities will be in smaller alphabets. Okay, so that is availability, not a big deal. That's why I have put it as an assignment, that whatever we have done, that is now sufficient enough to solve any problem. Whatever we have done till the last class, that is more than enough to solve any problem. Now it's just the extension of concepts what we have learned. Okay, great. What else? Let's say your system, okay, I guess there is no confusion. I'll take maybe 30 seconds pause if any voices comes from your side. If it's thinking clear, it's clear. It will be more clear when we'll solve the problem. Nothing to worry. Let's see. I'll just have some water. Meanwhile, you can think. So I guess I provided all the notes till last lecture. So now there should not be any problem. No information asymmetry. Okay, great. Now, let's say your system is going from state 1 to 2. Okay, so your system is going from 1 to 2. System, and your system is interacting with environment. Whose condition is V naught T naught. You never define V naught for surrounding, just pressure and temperature. There is no point. Surrounding has infinite volume. Okay. Now, if I'll ask you, listen carefully and try to answer. What is phi 1 minus phi 2? So I'll do this way. What is phi 1? Anyone? Just think about phi 1. What is phi 1? How will define phi 1? Or x2 minus x1, whatever you want to say, doesn't matter. It's just the difference of m. One is specific quantity, another one is extensive property. Anyone? What is phi 1? How will interpret phi 1? Think the definition, original definition. Yes, Anik, you want to try? Where system will go? I'll just ask you to define phi 1. So what system will achieve eventually if you want to calculate only phi 1?
It will achieve the pressure and temperature of the environment, P naught and T naught.
So yes. So this is phi 1. Perfect. Whatever maximum useful work you can extract. And what is phi 2? When system will go from state 2 to environmental condition,
yes,
isn't it? So if you do phi 2 minus phi 1, what you will get? You see, here you are going till starting from 1 to environmental condition, of course reversibly. So W max you are extracting, W max useful. So phi 1 is nothing but W max useful. Okay, going from 1 to environment. And phi 2 is W max useful going from 2 to environment. So what is phi 1 minus phi 2? Or should I write phi 2 minus phi 1? I guess I should write, that's fine. Yes. So if you do phi 1 minus phi 2, what you will get? W max useful 1 to environment, W max useful 2 to environment. So what you will get? W max useful, anyone from mathematics? 1 to 2, isn't it? Or anyone has any confusion?
Yes, sir. Yes,
right, it's simple. See, you want to reach, let's say 1 is initial condition, then some intermediate condition. So you are 1 is initial condition, then 2 is some intermediate condition, and this is environmental condition. So when you will go from one to environment, when system will move from one to environment, it will certainly pass through two. Okay, so this is the phi 1. And I'm saying, let's say if we'll start from 2, this is phi 2. If we'll do phi 1 minus phi 2, you will get W max useful going from 1 to 2. Simple. Simple algebra. Clear? Sneh? Bhavna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nidhi? Clear?
Sir.
Okay. So phi 1 minus phi 2 is W max 1 to 2. Okay. And from the expression you can, so what will be phi 1 minus phi 2? Just check and tell me. Okay. See the definition. This is definition of phi, let's say, just small e. So this is common in phi 1 and phi 2 both. So this will get cancelled. So what will get ultimately? Isn't it? This is going to same for either you calculate phi 1 or either phi 2. This is completely properties related to system property at environmental condition. So since for both going from 1 to environment, 2 to environment, environmental conditions are same. So phi 1 minus phi 2 is nothing but you can simply write u1 minus u plus pv minus t. So you can write u1 plus p naught v1. This, remember, this is p naught always. You can see the derivation, p naught minus p naught s1 minus u2 plus p naught v2 minus p naught s2. Simple. So if you take the difference of availability, then you will get maximum work for that change. And if you only define absolute availability, then you are assuming that your system is reaching to environmental condition. Okay, and this is nothing but maximum useful work. Maximum useful. Okay. So that's it. I guess this concept is quite clear. We can define it for flow process also. In fact, if you want to write in differential form, that also you can write. Okay, if someone wants to write in differential form, you can simply write d phi. See what we can write. We have d phi is du plus pv minus tds, I guess. Yes, isn't it? Yeah, perfect. So we can write d phi is du plus p naught dv. Remember, not d of pv. P naught d. P naught is constant minus p naught ds in differential. So this is non-flow exergy or non-flow availability. Let's talk about flow exergy. Or flow availability. Good. So, okay. Now, from where we should start? So what from the, okay, just give me a time. Okay, so that I will not make any mistake. Give me a minute. Yeah, so let's start that for how we'll do it for flow open systems. So, yeah. Yes, so how we are going to do that? So you should always start with first law. So anyway, what is first law for what we call this flow open system? Anyone? If you remember, otherwise I'll write it. So if you remember, it's for a steady state, of course. What we know as HE, you can check always, plus V square by 2 velocity, okay, plus G ZE minus HI VI square by 2 plus GZI minus is equal to Q dot minus W dot soft by M dot. What you should notice here, very important thing, where is the boundary work here? Can anyone tell where it is embedded in this flow equation? If you remember the derivation, fundamental derivation, means first principle derivation which we did.
Enthalpy.
Yes. So remember here it's already included. So whatever you are getting, this is already excluded from that boundary one. So no need to worry. Whatever you will get, the maximum value of this, that will be the W useful. So here W max useful is this. There, since it's a closed system, we have to subtract the boundary one. But here it's already in H, so there is no need of separately subtracting. It's already there. We already considered it that okay, that is gone for boundary, so that is already in H. So here directly you will get this W dot shaft work extracted from system. That's what we say. W S in this convention is by system, is the maximum useful work which we are going to extract. Okay. If you want, you can drop this kinetic and potential energy term generally. If you want, you can keep it, no problem. Okay. So for the time being, let's say it something, what we can say. Let's say this term Y and Y. Later on we'll include it. Huh? So I'm just removing this kinetic and potential energy. You can keep it. So how form will look like, I'll tell you. I don't want to write so much. So if I say that delta K macroscopic and delta P macroscopic is ignorable, is almost equal to 0. Then in that case, we have very simple equation. He minus Hi is equal to Q dot minus W dot S by M dot. Okay, perfect. So if I write Ws dot, that will be M dot Q dot minus M dot. Just check if I am correct or not. He minus Hi. I think it should be correct. Fine. I think it's fine. Okay. Great. If we'll integrate it over time, can we do that? I guess yes. So this is Ws. This will be total M. Yeah, we can do that. So let it be right now in this fashion. No problem. Keep M dot with us. Okay. Now, what we will do is as follows. Now, so we have this first law. Now where we should go? Anyone? Just what else we have? Yeah. Yes. What else we have? Anyone? Flow process. We have done first law. What else? So just as a hint, whatever with this concept we are learning, availability. This is nothing but combined manifestation of first and second law. Combined manifestation. We are combining it. Manifestation of first and second law. Now you can tell me what else we should do for flow process. We have done something for first law. We have this. What is our target, by the way? Sneh, what is our target?
So we should replace Q by
no. First, step by step. What is our target? What we want to know? W dot S max, isn't it?
max.
Yeah. Correct. These things are fixed. H inlet, H outlet. These things are fixed. Okay. Now, here again we have to say that since we are defining exergy or availability, let's say our final state is what? Avilas, what is our final state?
Surrounding.
Surrounding, because the way we define for closed system here also. So our H.
Yes, surrounding.
Yeah, surrounding. So it means what we are saying for calculating exergy, flow exergy, remember our outlet conditions are at Avilas environment, right? Conditions are at environment. Remember, we are defining absolute flow exergy, so we have to say that our outlet conditions are at environment. So let's write down Ws dot in the next slide. Ws max. So write down only Ws, max will come later. That is our target. So ws dot is q dot minus m dot h e minus h m dot h e exit. H exit is h environmental, and this is h1. Inlet is at 1, and this is a note is for environment. Okay, great. Yes. So as Sneha told us, now we should apply second law. So as the availability is nothing but the combined statement. So let's use second law. Yes, Sneha, you want to say something? What we should do? So which equation we should take? Entropy equation for open systems, right? Okay. So if we'll do that, so again, rather than open system, I always prefer this. What we will say is as follows. This we are going to write this way. ds. We should do this way. That delta S universe. That's how I do. Delta S universe is equal to delta S system plus delta S surrounding. Okay. If you can put dot dot, we are talking in terms of rate. I don't know whether we need a dot or not. Let's see. I think we need dot. So now we want to know delta S dot system. Anyone what is delta S dot surrounding? So this q dot is given by surrounding to system. How system receives, I don't care, but I certainly know that since my surrounding is a thermal reservoir, it will give in a reversal manner. So delta S surrounding is minus q dot by which T? Our surrounding HP is temperature T naught, right? Because I'm writing the delta S for surrounding, so surrounding temperature is T naught. Okay, great. In fact, in general, let's put it this. Go mathematically. If you not go mathematically, you say that process is reversible, then equality will same thing. Either you say process is reversible, so equality will hold, because we know that only in reversible process we can extract maximum work from a system. Okay. So delta S dot universe is delta S. If you want to write this, so what we can write? M dot. What is really delta S system? So it is going to surrounding condition. Okay. So this is S naught minus S1. This is delta S system plus minus Q dot by T naught. So it simply means that yeah, up to this one it's fine. Yes. So what we can write is this will come here. So Q naught, is there a mistake in this? No, I think it's fine. Now what we should do in order to reach to that up to this point it's fine. Through equality I can certainly, I'm just trying to find out what to put in equality. So for WS to be maximum, Q should be maximum. So Q should be less than something. So why I'm not getting that thing? Minus. Oh, sorry. What I am writing? Sorry. Yeah. Tell me, Sneha, what we should write? There is. So this is equality, right?
Yes.
And this is greater than equal to 0, right?
Yes, sir.
This is greater than equal to 0. Very simple. Yeah. So what we are getting? Q naught less than equal to T naught M dot S naught minus S1. By mistake, I have put this inequality here. This is delta is universe. That should be greater than equal to 0. Okay. So you can see that the Q dot max means when it will go to surrounding reversible. That way also you can think. So Q dot max is nothing but T naught M naught S naught minus S1. where 1 is the starting point of system and naught is the environmental condition. So if you use, so if you want WS max, that will be equal to Q dot max, and Q dot max value is, so let's try Q dot max minus M dot H naught minus H1. So our WS max will be equal to yes, good back, Q dot max, which is T naught M naught S naught minus S1, T naught M dot S naught minus S1, and then what else we have, minus M dot H naught minus H1, H naught minus H1. You can pull that M dot this side. So this is nothing but flow exergy. Okay, you can here always WS max by M dot. This is dot, of course. There is nothing but T naught. So we will write it this way. Now we'll arrange it. M dot we have taken out. We can always write it H1 minus T naught S1 minus H naught minus T naught S naught, and this is called flow availability. Which is known as, rather than phi, say it's psi. Psi, let's say state 1 is H1 minus T naught S1, H naught minus T naught S naught. Hello? Yes?
Yes, sir.
I'll call you later. Okay? Sorry guys. Yes. So that is our flow ability. Yeah? Sorry, there was someone. Great. So the same concept for flow process. Okay? Psi 1. So again, if we'll define psi 1 minus phi 2, means if your system is not reaching to final state, but it's going from 1 to 2, it will give you maximum useful work going from maximum useful work per unit mass. Remember, maximum useful work per unit mass is nothing but H1 minus T naught S1 minus, which is the same logic which we have seen in the previous derivation. That's all. Okay. So I hope you got this concept. Now we'll do one or two more derivation and then some problems. So before you take a break for 5 minutes, just to, since I think Sneh asked this doubt, he wrote to me, so I think I should share it with you also. Remember, when you say, so this is done, something different I'm telling you. W max by system, we say it, that is W reversible. Means system can give you maximum work. Okay. For example, gas is expanding. If you are using a pump, and pump is also acting reversibly, then whether we give work to pump or we take work from pump, anyone? Apart from Sneh, because he knows, I have shared with him. Yes, Nidhi, pump we give work or we extract work?
Pump will do work reversibly.
No, pump is reversible. My question is that if you are taking pump, so one is heat engine and another is pump or compressor, whatever. What is the difference in these two? Heat engine delivers work, right? And pump, refrigerator, whatever you want to say.
Extract work.
No, you give work to pump. No? What is the use of pump? You supply some electrical energy and it compresses the air or it sends the liquid from one place to another place. So you are putting energy, right?
Yes.
So what does it mean by reversible pump? That all the losses you are ignoring. Fine. You cannot violate second law, but you can, that is external irreversibility. Okay. But internal irreversibility you are removing. So if you are taking heat engine, since it is not clear, let me ask her itself so that this concept will be clear to her. If this heat engine is reversible, what will be the WS maximum or minimum? What do you think, Nidhi?
Yes, sir.
WS will be maximum or minimum if the heat engine is reversible?
It will be maximum.
Maximum. So you can extract maximum work from heat engine. Maximum work from heat engine if it is reversible.
Reversible. Yes.
Now think about pump or refrigerator. You remember what the function of refrigerator? It takes
Yes.
heat from lower temperature body and then it sends it to high temperature body, isn't it? This is TL, sorry, TL, TH, and for that you have to do work, right?
Huh.
So let's say you have two pumps or two refrigerators. One is a reversible refrigerator or pump, another one is irreversible pump. Some work, let's say this is a WRB and this is W irreversible. Which one will be higher?
WRV.
No.
Sir, but it is, yes, sir. Sorry.
See, here pump, you are giving the work to system. Think this way, right? So if you are giving the work in reversible pump, we say there is no reversibility internally. It means you don't need to provide extra work, right? So if you generally we say, since we always think that work done by system or work done delivered by system, we always think it's maximum. When you flip it for pump, W
It will be
reversible
opposite.
minimum work which you need to provide. So never get confused. Both are same thing. In pump, you are working on the system. So if you want to avoid any extra work, there should not be any irreversibility. Okay. So in case of pump, W reverse will be W minimum because external agent is supplying work to pump, whereas W reversal will be greater. On the other hand, if you're extracting work, then this will be. So in this case, for pump case, of course, W irreversible is greater than W reversible because then you have to pay for irreversibility also, internal irreversibility of your device. Fine. So I thought I should make it clear. Whereas for heat engine, this equality will change. Great. Take 5 minutes break. We meet, let's say at 10:06, 12:06. Okay.